I'm going to name this layer that I just did the Dust and Scratches filter. I'm going to name it Dust and Scratches so I can keep track of what I have done on each layer. And I advise you to do that as well, just so you can learn from what we're doing here. There are a number of healing brushes in Photoshop, and if you hover over the spot healing brush and click, you'll see spot healing, healing, there's the patch tool, there's the content aware move tool, and there's a red eye tool. And so all of these tools are used for retouching. If I use the healing brush tool, actually, before I go into more detail with these, there's also the tool right below it is the clone stamp tool, and there's also a pattern stamp tool. And I use that clone stamp tool. Before there were the healing tools, there was the clone stamp tool. So that is the old school way to retouch, and it still is pretty useful in certain situations. And basically, these healing brush tools, they do the same thing. The concept of these, of at least the healing and the spot healing, and I think the content aware move, the concept of these is what you're doing is you are working with neighboring pixels in order to fix problem areas. So with the healing brush tool, it's sampling the pixels around whatever the problem is, and that is how it's magically erasing the problem issues. With the patch tool, it works a little bit differently, and same is true with the content aware move tool. But the all of these, the concept behind this is that you are using neighboring pixels. With the stamp tool, same thing, but with the clone stamp tool, you actually get to go and choose where you want the source pixels to be sampled from. Okay, so we're going to start with the healing brush tool. And again, up here at the top, you want to be aware of what all of these settings are. I want to show you a way to do a non-destructive edit to a layer using the healing brush tool. With the healing brush tool enabled, create a new layer on top of your photo layer and go up to at the top here where it says current layer. You want current and below, okay? And that way it's going to sample from this layer below. Okay, I'm going to turn off this bottom layer. This is with no adjustments whatsoever. So I'm just going to turn that off so that it doesn't get in the way of the healing brush. So, and this healing brush works the same way all the other brushes in Photoshop work, where your left and right brackets are going to allow you to make the size smaller or larger. You also get an ability to increase or decrease the hardness. Try it with the defaults and see what works for you. If so, all I have to do here is option click to define a source point for the healing brush. So if I option click to the left and then I click, there goes the problem. It's completely gone. And the spot healing brush, it just works the same way, but it doesn't give you the ability to define the source area. It does that kind of on its own. So with the healing brush tool, you want to be zoomed in close enough that you are going to be able to easily define neighboring pixels. You hold down either the Alt key on a PC or the Option key if you're on a Mac so that you can sample the neighboring pixels, and you just click wherever you want to sample from. Then you release the Alt or Option and you can see Photoshop's giving you a preview of what it's going to paint in. Now you don't want to go too far with this because at some point it does become detectable.